But I want you to get the principle that has been pointed out here. God is calling you into a Sabbath rest, not just for your benefit, but also so that He can take a break. Because we are charging around like headless chickens 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it says here, this is not about Louisa resting. This is about Louisa enabling God, Jesus, to rest within her. The mystery of the mystic. Okay? And so we mustn't think about this from the perspective of a narcissistic angle. It's all about me. The gift of living in the divine will is all about us perfectly glorifying the Father. It is not about me, so to speak. It's about God. And we have a responsibility to actually minister to the Trinity through things like the rounds. And you might find that extraordinary. We minister to the Trinity? Well, when you go to Mass, you will say things like, there'll be some prayers, like some of the Psalms say, blessings and praises to you, God our Father. So we will bless the Lord. There's a beautiful song called Bless the Lord, O my soul. So we will bless the Lord. And we will worship the Lord. And we will give honor and glory to the Lord as is right and fitting. The divine will perfects that. Okay? So let me go through some of the ways of doing our rounds. Just bear with me. Okay, so this is on Father Joseph Inutz's book, page 76. This isn't to do with the rounds, but this is just to help you understand what you're doing when you do the rounds. Okay? So the gift of living in the divine will elevates your soul to the continuous participation in God's eternal mode of operation, the eternal mode of prayer and action. Okay, so when you're in the divine will, your soul is no longer in the human mode of operation. It is elevated by grace to the eternal mode of operation. So when you do your rounds and your acts in the divine will, you're not doing it from a fleshy human perspective. You're doing it from an eternal divine perspective outside of time and space. Okay? And it produces three things in the soul. It produces transtemporality in the soul, universality, and multiplication. And these are very important for the rounds, because when you do the rounds in the divine will, I'll give you an example. I beg your pardon. Let's say we're placed. So, when Jesus was creating everything, He placed His love in everything He created. So, His love is in a blade of grass. His love is in a ray of sunlight. His love is in a bird song. His love is in the leaf on the tree. His love in everything. His love is in the air you breathe. Okay? He has placed His love in absolutely everything in creation. And what He wants you to do is to reciprocate what He has already done. So when you're out walking, you might feel the wind on your face. That is Jesus breathing His I love you upon you. And so you can say, Jesus, with your will, and in the name of everybody, I place my I love you in the wind. Now, what that means is you've done an eternal infinite act in the divine will on behalf of all human creatures from Adam to the last man. You've reciprocated, reciprocated the love of Jesus for you in the wind, in the sun, in the green plant, in the leaf, in the grass, in the blue sky, whatever it might be, the rain, the raindrop. Every single raindrop has an I love you in it for you. Every single raindrop. Okay? So you say to Jesus, I place my I love you with your will, so it's an eternal prayer, in the name of everybody, so that's universality, in every drop of rain that has ever been or ever will be, that's multiplicity. Temporality, universality, multiplicity. And all you're doing is reciprocating. You're just reciprocating what Jesus has placed in everything. And you're recognizing that Jesus has created this for you. One of my favourite ways of doing the rounds is the rounds of the Passion, because when you meditate on the Passion, a spring is formed within the soul. So I like to work on that spring every single day if I can. So I go through the Passion in my mind and I say, okay, Jesus, with your will, I place my I love you in your abandonment by all. I place my I love you in your suffering at drinking from the cup of bitterness. Who's unmuted? Maria. Oh, I thought you had a question to ask there, Maria. You interrupted me. Outrageous. Anyway, so where was I? Oh yeah, so you're placing your I love you in every part of the Passion of Christ. When you're at Mass, you can do rounds of sanctification. So you can place your I love you in every word of the liturgy, because the liturgy is totus Christus, totally Christ's. So from the moment the priest does the entrance antiphon and the sign of the cross, all the way to the dismissal at the end, you can place your I love you in every Mass that has ever been on behalf of all creatures. Which means that when you do that, all creatures benefit from your placing your I love you, and God is blessed because when he hears you doing this in the divine will, it's as if every creature from Adam to the last man is telling God, I love you. Because you're doing it in the divine will, you're doing it in the name of every human being from Adam to the last man, and you're doing it for every single Mass that has ever been. So you're making reparation for all the blasphemies that take place at Mass and all the inappropriate behaviour and so on. You're making reparation for the lack of love shown to God, and you're filling up the glory that is owed to God, which every human creature owes God. And probably amazing benefit is that Jesus reveals to us in his diary, in Louisa's diaries, that every one of us is meant to love God from the very first moment of our conception till we die. And that souls go to purgatory who have not loved God enough in this life. When you love God in the divine will, you are filling up those voids in your soul in dramatic fashion. And you're not just filling it up for you, you're filling up the void in the glory of God, and you're also helping other souls, the souls in purgatory, benefit. Souls that are on earth today benefit. All good so far? Just that it could not be good. Yeah.